The XFL Gambling Podcast Week 3 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the College Basketball Experience. March Madness is heating up, and you need to subscribe to the College Basketball Experience because, as Dickie V says, it's awesome, baby! Remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
Welcome to the XFL Gambling Podcast Week 3 preview and picks episode. A lot of big-time matchups. All weekend games. 1 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. We're going to touch base on each and every one. You better believe it. And if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I do know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully, much like I know the XFL and USFL can coexist peacefully. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, which you should be subscribed to. They call him the man in the box. Give it up for CJ Sullivan.
Thank you, DJ Kobe D. Bringing the papers and the passion and the clipboard for week 3. We're ready for a great show this week, especially I think we're coming together more of a unit. We've discovered more about each other, even more than Aaron Rodgers in the darkness for 4 days. We did a 10-hour road trip to Laguna and back.
Yeah,
I mean, if you can't find out about each other's soul, going in fucking traffic on 40 miles.
Yeah, it took us 10 hours to get to Laguna Beach from Los Angeles, do stand-up, and come back.
Right. It was amazing. So I'm ready. I'm excited.
Oh, dude. Well, let me give you your introduction then.
He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
That's your introduction. Do you like that? We can change it.
No, I like that's the guy. What was this?
On Deadly Ground.
No more.
It's
yeah.
Okay.
No, the Marine, right?
I'll let you borrow it.
I always get his name wrong. What's his name? Elmore Emoy or some shit like that,
about.
Right?
Don't ask me, though, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's him. the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Made
exactly.
A real Marine sergeant got cast by Kubrick, made a whole fucking career out of this being a hard ass. I mean, in Hollywood.
Yeah, gotta love it.
I love a con
gotta
artist
love
like
it.
that.
All right, third man in the booth, as always. He's got his ear to the ground. Always, on any football, really. Any football. It could be Iowa fucking Wesleyan. Give it up for the host of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast, which, if you're not subscribed to, then...
Well, I don't get the brain man cold, but
Lou Holtz wonders why you're not. Give it up for Justin Mark, a.k.a. J Mark. How you doing, brother?
Doing fantastic. Ready to talk XFL. The chat with Nick Fortune already going. He says it's past lunchtime whiskey for him. Not
Whiskey
me.
lunch, J Mark.
Whiskey lunch is here.
I was just kind of. That's what I kind of like about that's added to the nickname now that you forget it every time, which adds to the persona of whiskey lunch.
What are you doing
That's
over
right.
there? What do you got? You working?
What's your whiskey today?
Oh, I got Evan Williams, bottled and bond, because this is what got me through my sickness. Hot toddies with this 100 proof stuff.
Sir.
Good
That
stuff.
comes right under from Grandma's sink right there.
Hot take here. Hot take here. And I know people say, well, Colby, you like college football more than NFL. You just don't like popular things. Evan Williams, though, is better than Jack Daniels.
Ooh, all right.
100%.
Hot
And
take.
cheaper.
And cheaper. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like a.
I agree.
Like going to a Ball State game, cheaper than going to
Jack Daniels. There's
Cleveland
no
Brown
need to
game.
pay for what you're doing, especially. I mean, like Jim Beam is the same, but like half the price almost.
Yeah.
Evan Williams, same thing. Although Jack, you can openly, proudly drink like in a study. Beam and Evan is more of a
That's what I'm
drive.
saying.
It's more of a driveway whiskey.
Yeah,
kind of, you know what I mean.
Driveway whiskey. I like this. They should be in the store aside.
Right.
Driveway whiskeys.
Have two
Right?
of these. Have two of these before you go face your family, kind of deal. You know, parking the parked car back from work.
Hopefully
This big
you're
bottle,
watching.
though, costs the same as the Jack Daniels bonded,
All right.
That's
the
what I'm
small
saying.
bottle. So
Look, I'll take this. I'll take the Pepsi challenge on this all day.
Mhm.
All right. I will take the Pepsi
100.
challenge on this, and I will be able to tell you which one's better. Folks, you should be watching this because J Mark was flexing that bottle, and we are not. We're trying to get a sponsor. Anyone out there with connections to Evan Williams, we will take that. We'll take samples.
I already wrote your ad copy for you,
yeah.
Evan Williams. The whiskey to have before you face your family.
Try our double deluxe driveway edition. All right.
Yes.
YouTube.com/XFL. That's what you do, right?
All
Isn't that-
right.
I believe that's the correct or SGP. No, it's SG.
So are we on the
XFL.
main as
Yeah.
well? Last time people couldn't find us because we just threw this on the XFL YouTube. What are we doing?
Oh no,
now?
yeah, definitely fucked up and made that mistake again.
I love it. Well, we got one commenter. That's all. So that's all we need. Might as well make him the fourth host of the show.
My apologies. Thanks for the reminder. Thanks for the
Too late reminder.
Yeah. But hopefully you're tuning in. Let me, you know what? I can do some retweet action right now. But guys,
I just tweeted. So dozens of followers should be coming in at this moment.
what you get? Any other takeaways from the end of week 2? J Mark, any news you want to touch base on?
Yeah, give us the news updates.
here's the news update. The Orlando Guardians have not made a change at quarterback or any position, which is shocking after Buckley said pretty much everybody's on the spot. We're reevaluating everything. They've made no changes. They have the same three quarterbacks that are not doing well. So I guess we'll see how that goes.
Same roster. I
thought he was getting rid of the roster.
Yeah, he was threatening to Zamboni the entire roster out to the streets.
The other big news, not XFL related, well, sort of, but
It's
Brian
very
Scott's
J-Mark
got a
related.
job.
Brian Scott, the god of alternative football.
Yep.
Where did he sign? He's not in the XFL.
He's in the CFL with the Argos, so you won't hear me saying, why aren't they bringing this guy in for all these XFL teams that are struggling anymore?
So what happens once you go to Canadian? You can't come back over? Is that how their contracts work? You're pretty much exclusively to the season.
I will say this. I mean, they made the quarterback in the CFL makes, well, Bethel Johnson, who he's replacing, who's now with the New Orleans Breaker 1-2s, got paid $400,000 a year last year, which probably means about $100,000 in Canada. But he's going to get paid better than he would have got in the USFL, correct?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The other news there, I don't know if you saw, Colby, you'll know this guy. They're also in negotiations with former Iowa quarterback Nate Stanley. Now, as an Iowa fan, I don't know why.
Wait.
I remember Nate
which
Stanley.
team is?
Nate Stanley's
The
the guy
Argos
who
are.
played in-
The Argos are. Nate Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Iowa football.
Yeah.
You know I love Iowa
They would
football.
play him in front of CJ Beathard for no reason whatsoever.
He's got a strong handoff. That's why.
He's very
about right.
crisp. Very
Get
crisp.
those handoffs to
One of
Alouette.
the first things they look at with Iowa football is if you have a strong handoff.
Best exchange.
Yeah.
Best exchange in the Big Ten.
Oh man! All right. So that's it for news. Terrell Buckley state. Maybe he woke up and changed his mind. It's easy to see a tide turn, they say, guys. So
Absolutely.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
maybe he just said, you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe he did have that self-realization. All right. So that's going on. The TV numbers were in. I thought the ones on FX actually charted better than I thought they would.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not like it was the Live Golf thing that fucking Happy Days was doing better than.
Now, how does that work? Disney bought FX too?
Yeah.
ESPN, a Fox network,
which is hilarious.
Right.
I think is this a little jab from the Disney / ESPN as a little fuck you to the USFL, saying, "Oh, you're gonna put yours on Fox?
Yeah.
Guess what? FX will have the XFL games."
Yeah, fuck it. We'll own all of Sons of Anarchy. Why not? Just we'll bring it on up.
This is like Leonard Letterman. I'm in. But I will say, look, touching base. I know last time we were on the show, I was rattling off stats, numbers, and I didn't have the USFL's numbers computed. But now I have everything here. All right. So as we alluded to, surprisingly, the XFL, week 1 in the XFL, they passed for 434 yards a game, almost 435. If you round it up, it goes to 435. But that's both teams combined.
Okay.
Week 2, just 279. Now you could argue the weather, although here's the surprising thing. Well, I'll get to it in a second, I guess. Rushing the ball, week 1, just about 151 yards per game in the XFL. Week 2, 204. Now here's what's hilarious is I tweeted these numbers out, and people were saying, well, that's because the DC Vegas game and the St. Louis Seattle Snapdragons were in cold weather and rain. No, they were actually the two most the St. Louis Battlehawks and Seattle Sea Dragons had 573 yards of offense. The DC Defenders Las Vegas Vipers had 496. Those were the top 2 offensive games this past weekend. The games on Sunday with Terrell Buckley only had 385 yards of offense in that game, and then the worst offensive output was the Arlington Renegades Houston Roughnecks with 367 yards. So if you're getting smart trying to say, hey, these games were the cold weather, not the case here.
So don't get smart, audience. Let that be a message. We don't. The last thing we want is our audience to be smart or to get smart.
Stay dumb, baby. Yeah. All right. Now I compared that to week 2 of comparing XFL week 2 to USFL week 2. USFL 584 yards per game.
Sure.
XFL 455 yards per game. That's a big fucking difference. Also, the passing attack in the USFL, once again, and this goes back to I think they have better quarterback play in the USFL. 360 yards per game, if rounded up, 360 yards per game compared to 279. Rushing the ball, also 225 yards rushing a game. So it went down. It dipped by about 20 yards for the USFL in week 2 compared to week 1, but still 21 yards ahead of the XFL. Now, I know some people have said that they moved to a moving clock in the USFL after the season started. Still, I have all the USFL numbers in front of me. I just think it's a fact that the USFL offensive line play, unless the XFL just starts to just get way better at rushing the ball, which is possible. Yeah. It's possible. It's not probable. Then it just seems like the O-line play and the quarterbacks are probably more. It's probably a direct result.
Yeah,
They're
I think
connected.
it's more related to the O-line than the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think the quarterback play is fine. I mean, not fine, but I mean, there's good quarterbacks in the XFL, but a lot of them don't have the time.
Or they're starting the wrong guy.
Right, absolutely.
Or Slaughter's just sitting on the bench.
What is going on with that?
Yeah.
What do we got to do to get Slaughter on the field?
J-Mark, what do you make of all that shit I just rattled off at you?
No, I completely agree with the quarterback play take there. I mean, if you think about guys, and not to beat a dead horse here, but Brian Scott, Kyle Slaughter, Jamar Smith, even Alex Magoo, who played for the Stallions there too, DeAndre Johnson, like who in the XFL would you take over those guys right now?
Yeah, not many. I mean, even Danucci, I don't know that I would.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I think it was just, I don't know if they were more prepared. I mean, they had about the same amount of time to prepare for these games. So I don't know what to make of that, except just it seems like the USFL was better.
Yeah, slightly better, which I think is fine. Yeah. I don't think they have to battle each other. It's like the buffet. Of course, the carved meats are going to be a little better, the pizza and the chicken, but you can put it all on one plate and still enjoy it.
We love all football.
Right.
We love all football. So I don't want to see the XFL fold or something. I hope the XFL is here forever. I'm just noting the differences here. Another thing is scoring. So we expected a big dip from scoring in the XFL week 2 with that many pick sixes week 1.
Mhm.
And that happened. 35 points per game was the average team score combined in week 2. But the USFL week 2 was up to 42 points per game. So even that jumped up because week 1, the USFL was at 35 points, the exact same mark that the XFL got week 2. So it's just something to ponder.
It's just more material for these USFL people who looking down upon the XFL.
Subscribe to the USFL Gambling Podcast.
I love the USFL too, but they don't have to be enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, like these alternative football worlds.
I agree.
They just everyone likes to look down upon someone else. That's this thing of hazing. It's why
the alt world, they hate each other.
Right.
And I don't understand it because I love the CFL, I love the NFL Europe, I love the ELF.
Yes.
I love it all. And I think we're all on the same page here. If you love football, you should love it all.
Right. That's why sports fans look down on Philly fans. It's something they're all terrible, but they look down on, well, at least we're not as bad as that. You know what I mean? And when you're feeling fat, like I can lose weight or I can look at a fatter person. At least I'm not that slob eating like that.
J Mark, what were you gonna say?
And that's what we are. We're XFL. You need us on that wall is what I'm trying to say. XFL fan.
Just know the crazy fandom of these people that either they're for the USFL and they're like, I hope XFL fails, or vice versa.
I don't get it.
To me, these are guys that are getting a chance to live out their dream a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
They get one more opportunity to try to go out
Beautiful
there. And
thing.
who wants that to fail? Like, I don't understand why you would be so down in your life that I hope that guy doesn't have a job come tomorrow because this league folds. Like, I don't get it.
It's amazing.
No, I don't get it either. And look, I personally like the rules of the USFL better than the XFL. You know, I'm not high on the kickoff or those punt rules. I don't even like the 4th and 15 thing. But I still like thinking outside the box and having a league where they do think outside the box, whether it's the CFL, 20-yard end zones, whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I can still find happiness in watching that. But I mean, there's room for it all. There's room for it all is what I'm saying.
That's an interesting comment there, Rob Donaldson.
Yeah, Rob Donaldson says, if you're watching on YouTube, my buddy plays tight end for the Arlington Renegades, and his take is that the O-line play is so bad because nobody wants to carry that much weight around when they're not getting paid all that well.
That makes a lot of sense.
But also, I mean, the USFL are they paying more at the offensive line?
Well, it's just like in general, because like when you're on the line, you are a piece of meat to them. You know what I mean? In college, they beef you up, and you see as soon as they retire, they lose like 50, 60 pounds like that. Because it's not healthy. But like if the risk is not that, in the XFL you're definitely getting paid less. But it's not like the USFL is paying great amounts, but it makes sense. It does make sense.
I just noticed, I just think the line play was so much better. Here's an angle I thought, and I know we touched on this. There's 4 first-time head coaches in the XFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this straight: Rod Woodson, Hines Ward, Anthony Beck, Terrell Buckley.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the real result of it. Because when I looked at the USFL, I think Kirby Wilson was the only first-time coach. And even with that, he had been an assistant for like 50 fucking years, I feel like. So your other coaches, even Jeff Fisher, who we know, not known for being a great coaching mind, but I do believe he probably knows how to get the offensive line and defensive lines intact. So I think that might be the big result of those numbers.
He'll get you 8-8. That's for sure, Jeff Fisher.
Yeah. So,
lock that in.
All right. Well, anything else you guys want to say on that? Do you think those numbers will go up? You think the XFL's numbers will because that's one thing I think say.
So. It's only first 2 weeks. Let's go. I mean, let's give it a little bit of a sample size.
Well, like the USFL's numbers do go up some. I have them in front of me the next couple of weeks, and they do go up as the season goes along, which you would imagine would be normal with any part of football. But all right, well, something to monitor. I'm going to rattle off this shit to you next week, too, so buckle up. All right?
I'd like to go to the pre-show notes when you asked if this was a good idea.
All right, let's hop into this. I'm disappointed no Thursday, Friday games. I think they once again,
that's what I was saying.
Selling themselves short a little bit.
Yeah, and J Mark, does Canada plays like on Wednesdays and Tuesdays too, right?
That's
what I was thinking.
Thursday, Fridays. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe your lover Brian Scott could play for Canada and then hop on over to Orlando or something on a weekend. Kind of a good problem over.
Escape jail for a little bit.
Absolutely. But you're right. I think they should take advantage of the Thursday night
especially do they not realize that college basketball, the conference tournaments, are going to be happening this weekend? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like...
And if you have the prime time FX, why not?
Why would you not do Thursday, Friday, if it was me, honestly, I would probably go Thursday, Friday. I'd probably skip Saturday, especially this Saturday.
Right.
Load up either 2 on Sunday or 1 on Sunday, 1 on Monday.
Yeah, I like it.
Am I crazy here?
Mm-hmm.
J-Mark,
Well,
talk.
You are crazy, but not for that reason. I think it's a good idea.
Hey, Mark from 3.
I'm crazy for thinking that the Guardians have the league by the balls right now.
Don't talk about my Guardians.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Let's hop into it. Saturday we only have one game.
That's odd. The conference tournament, right? Saturday, 4 o'clock
I'm
here.
saying this is going to be going.
So 7 o'clock
right
Eastern.
up against Duke, Carolina.
It's all right. Come on, we got to go with it.
Seattle Sea Dragons laying 3.
It's a sexy game
In Vegas, Cashman Field.
Mm-hmm.
All the haters, all the how could you play on this field? It's football. You can play anywhere. All right. Ask Vince One Lombardi. All right. Vipers are catching 3. Home dog plus 140 on the money line. Seattle's minus 165. The over under set at 38.5. It seems to be like all those numbers, all the totals are falling between 36 and 38.5. All right. I'm going back to the well, guys. I refuse. This is Nakatomi Plaza over here.
I know.
All right. Because I'm dying hard on this hill with the Seattle Sea Dragons. I'm laying the 3. I have my future. If this doesn't hit, this is only a 10-game season. This is a must-win game for Seattle.
What is the what is the playoff qualifications in this league? Is it a 4?
I think it's the top 2, right? It's top 2 in each
Yeah,
side.
they just take the top 2.
So it's top 2 in each side.
So I guess they're
4
alive
teams.
they're probably alive for another 7 weeks.
Right, that's what I mean. I mean, I think they can dump this one. I kind of hope they do lose this one.
The value keeps
absolutely going. Pound Seattle futures.
I will say this interesting here. Today it snowed in Las Vegas today, so let me quickly pull up a weather watch for the week in Vegas.
We got to make sure that's not another. I think someone called like a Nickelodeon Double Dare field out there. It was just like it was a minefield. I mean, I defend hard football all you want. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty much that Bruce Willis movie.
No, I loved it.
People had guns out there.
I love the field. More hilarious was the spot for the announcers. They built
my God, yeah. It looked like the tent the kid from Notre Dame died off of when filming practice. It was just a tornado and these 2 poles swinging around. Like, oh my God, Happy Gilmore had to putt through that on 18 out of one thing.
I'm seeing
tower.
I'm seeing it. It's a little windy, 16 mile-an-hour winds. for the announcer's sake, you might want to call this one from the sidelines.
Brian Kelly says it's fine. Get up there and announce this game.
62 degrees, partly cloudy, so
it'll be fine.
2% chance of rain. 2% chance.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds? Vegas set odds, and what is the odds that it rains twice back to back in Las Vegas?
It snowed today.
That's amazing. I think it should be okay, right?
Yeah, I think it should be okay. We're good. Play some fucking football, you fucking cowards. All right. Yeah. Shout out to Chad Graham who said, "I love that game."
Absolutely.
In my opinion,
people are so fucking entitled to like these pure, pristine conditions of football and sport. Yeah. That's not the way it is.
Look, I can speak on one that my whole life. If it ever rained or snowed where I grew up, you called your friends. I mean, look, we would play football when it was nice out too. But if it ever rained or snowed,
that's when you played.
The first thing you do is you call your buddies and say, "We're playing football," right? Also, anytime I was watching an event, I don't care what it was. If it's my favorite team, if I found out back in the day, we didn't have 30 televisions, but if I found out, the Apple Cup's in the snow, well, fuck my game that I'm watching. I want to watch the game in the snow. I believe the elements make you want to watch a game more.
Yes.
So if it's in the rain, the snow, the wind, the fog bowl, I want to watch the game more.
Absolutely.
So,
Now this one did have some aesthetic problems. The spray painting of the grass, which we want to go out there for sure and get our logo on there.
We are willing to help spray paint.
We'll help spray paint. I'll tag your field.
Exactly. All for one interview with Rod Woodson. All right. What are you doing here? I'm taking the Sea Dragons. I'm laying the 3. I'm also I'm also going to take the over.
Yeah.
I'm dying hard on the Sea Dragon. I take the over in all their games. I'm dying hard. CJ, what are you doing here in Vegas?
I like the over more than I like anything in this side here.
The Nooch has gotten to you.
I love the Nooch and June Jones and I still laugh at Haslett, the head coach, and anytime someone accidentally asks him a question on offense and he has no idea. That's June. That's June's ballpark. Right. Why do you go for 3 every time? Metrics, they say. Sabermetrics. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
Is that a team we're playing next week? Next week we got the Sabermetrics coming into town.
But unlike J Mark, though, I was gonna say, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, is it Huntley or is it Perez? Do we know any?
I think Huntley's got to get another week, right, J Mark?
I think you'll see the majority of Huntley.
And I think he wasn't as bad as J Mark would like him to think he was. He did look efficient. It was his first time. Now, granted, he absolutely blanked Martavis and Geronimo, two very talented NFL wide receivers. I think that's not going to happen this week. I think he's definitely going to connect with them and give him more time and a second start. Get better. I mean, I think he looked competent. You could tell he was an NFL quarterback at one point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just didn't,
yeah.
It was tough conditions out there.
It might be tough conditions. It might be a little windy here. Option read.
Yeah.
Chad Graham says guys who only want stadiums with and no weather probably only like missionary with their boxers on. J Mark, what are you doing here in Vegas, man?
Yeah, I can't see a June Jones offense going 0-3. I just can't see it. He's too good of a offensive coach. I think they're going to find ways to score in this game. So I definitely like the over. And I'm with you. I'm riding the Sea Dragons here. Maybe it's a fade of Huntley Perez situation. I know at the locker room, Huntley mentioned I'm trying to still learn the playbook. I've only been here a week and a half.
Oh, come on.
You would think he should have it by now, right?
Did you play in the NFL? Oh, he was on one team for a long time.
No,
I know that.
You can't use that excuse anymore.
Who was it that never studied the playbook? Jamarcus Russell. Remember?
Yeah.
They would send him the tapes. And he would never watch. And then they did it. They purposely sent him a tape to trick him.
Yes.
And then he came back.
That's like the old. There's $100 bill in the middle of the book. To see if he read it. Fun note about Jamarcus Russell.
Callahan.
Yeah, exactly. During Katrina, when Jamarcus Russell was at LSU, he rescued Fats Domino, who happened to be related to him.
Really?
Fats Domino was like riding out the storm on his piano or something like that, just riding it out. And Jamarcus Russell picked him up, rescued him, and Fats Domino lived in Jamarcus Russell's dorm room.
No shit.
For the entire LSU season.
That's a great story.
And their books got switched up one time. I remember Fats Domino had the LSU playbook by accident, and Jamarcus Russell had Fats's Big Fat Book of Big Black Facts, it was called, which was his black book of Big Black Facts. He used to go after.
Yeah, that's what I was.
But that's a true story, except for the book part. He did live with them during that semester, though, Jamarcus Russell.
I mean, Sean Penn also tried to rescue some people and his boat sank. You remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he needed to get rescued.
So then he just floated on down to Haiti. All right, I'll just rescue Haiti while I'm down.
He's like, President Bush, I know you haven't been here in weeks, and we've had this, but I'm one of the best actors in Hollywood. Please save me. Save me.
Side note, so both these teams are 0-2, right? Vegas hasn't won either, right?
Vegas lost to Vegas.
Yeah, because they lost to first Arlington and lost to East State. So someone's gonna get off the schneid.
I'll be honest. I get Vegas and San Antonio confused sometimes. Both because they're Steeler coaches. I feel like in my head I'm like, wait, is Rod Woodson the San Antonio coach or is Hines Ward? I always have to break that down. Also, Brahmas, Vipers, I feel like just kind of get those confused a little bit.
Absolutely.
But,
Seattle does have 10 days of prep for this as well. So I've been doing since that Thursday game.
True. Yeah. So what are you doing, J Mark? You're riding both. What are you doing totals wise?
Over. I'm taking the over here.
Yeah.
I just think this is gonna. I think the Vipers are gonna have some success moving the ball down the field.
Yeah.
I do too.
Hopefully, but I think Seattle's really going to make a statement game right here. I mean, we've been high on them from the beginning. I think it's a statement game and a lot of scoring.
Get right game. I like, over first, Seattle second on the play. If I had to take a side,
there we go.
But watch it, because I saw 3.5s out there. I mean, but not like you said. These numbers are all different.
Yeah. And shout out to Fred Durst who said that DC Vegas game was awesome. DC will play on asphalt. Shields up.
Shields up, Fred Durst. Keep rolling.
I say lemons up. Lemons up. Let's go. All right.
I like new Fred Durst, by the way. He looks like John Daly a little bit. He's got that gray hair. Have you seen a picture of Fred Durst lately? He's kind of leaning into it.
I got a great John Daly story here.
All right.
But hold on. Let me look.
Better than my Big Black Facts book story? I doubt it.
I want to tell you the XFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by WynnBET. WynnBET's the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and the XFL Gambling Podcast. And WynnBET's active in a bunch of states, and there are tons of ways you can win live, including live betting and same-game parlays, a.k.a. WynnBET's Build Your Own Bet. And March Madness is almost here. There's plenty of ways to win, getting down on all the sports, XFL, NHL, NBA, and obviously March Madness popping off. Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet $100, get $100 free bet, limited to state availability. And, of course, for our DGens only, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you get $1,000 free credit. There's so much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET so they know that we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. All of our subjects are tamed, service condition, WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older, present state where WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Also, the SGPN merch store. Yeah. We're brought to you by it, and we have brand new XFL gear. I actually have my shirt on underneath. Should have probably wore it for the show, but I can't remember anything. But yeah, we have XFL Gambling Podcast t-shirts. Guys, get on over there. Shirts, hats, sweats, hoodies, even fucking Christmas ornaments. I don't know if we took those down. If not, they'll be back in December. Get on over there, though. All right. I also want to tell you that no, let's talk one more game here. Oh, but John Daly. So I was
tell your John Daly story.
I was at East Carolina, and we decided to go down to Old Daytona Beach, Florida for beach week or spring break, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And our hotel happened to be right next to a Hooters because it's Florida and it's impossible to get a hotel that's not next to a Hooters. All right. And very hungover the next day, and we decided to go into this Hooters. And, we have no idea what's going on, but as we're sitting there, like group of 6 guys, someone comes over and asks us if we wanted a photo with them, right? And we kind of all fucked up, all hungover, so we're just like, no, we're okay. But the waitress comes by and goes, "Can you please go back? Can you kind of telling him to get out of the way?" And the waitress then tells us that that's John Daly. He was wearing sunglasses. I didn't notice, right? And then she said it in a way like, he's here every fucking day. He made a deal with the Hooters so he gets free drinks. He gets free drinks, and he can sell his book or he could sell photos, I think, or a book or signed gloves, which he offered. Like 20 minutes later, he came back by, see if we wanted to buy signed gloves. And one of my friends did purchase one of his gloves. So it's working, but it was hilarious from her perspective.
Right.
She's like, he hits on me all day.
I know.
He's had 6 beer pitchers.
Yeah, he got a sponsorship to Hooters that he designed himself. And imagine all the waitresses like, good God. Why? Because he's the only sponsorship where he lives it inside the company. He doesn't advertise outside of the building. He says, no, I just want to hang out in a Hooters and get drunk and eat wings and sexually harass the waitresses. Can I get paid for that? Yes, you can, John. This is America.
Chad Graham goes, when are we getting sleeveless shirts? We're working on it. But you also have a pair of scissors, which I would,
right.
You can do that.
Yeah, any shirt can be sleeveless if you have enough.
Once again, this is like football. You can do it. You can do it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to sit there. You can't play on the Cashman Field conditions. They spray painted the field. All right, let's get game 2 here. Even though these are all on Sunday, St. Louis Battlehawks. Caca! They're heading into Washington, D.C. to the Lemon Party.
I know, to the Lemon Party. J. Mark's squad versus my squad here.
D.C.'s laying 2. The over-under's at 37. Battlehawks are plus 115 on the money line. And the Defenders laying or minus 135 on the money line. I'm all over the Defenders.
I mean, I love my Defender team.
I think you're going to see more De'Aaron King.
I'm not. Yes.
I think they have the legit real home field advantage.
I'm not happy how this game's early. They're trying to take
I know.
They're trying to squeeze the juice out of the lemon, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why is this game the early
that
game?
fits right on that fights right under St. Louis's and J Mark's dull fucking game plan where they like where the kids can watch their dad play with AJ McCarron. Oh my God, with this story with AJ McCarron's being able to watch him play. You know, if I was AJ McCarron's kids, I would rather see my dad hold a clipboard in the NFL and get 10 times the amount of money so I can
get all the video games.
Yeah, so I can have a Christmas and play Xbox. I'll put, you know what? I'll buy an XFL Xbox. How about that, Dad? You just go play for the Jaguars or some shit. And I get to meet Jamar Chase. How about that?
Yeah.
Instead of watch you play against the goddamn Seahawks.
You see Chase Daniels' life? He's taking like 10 snaps and he's got like $100 million to show for it.
Right.
One of the biggest bullshits. There's a pandemic on backup quarterbacks going on, just like there was white big men in the 80s and 90s that were just getting paid in the NBA.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, we'll give Chris Dudley $100 million.
Like his kids are watching this game anyway. They're all watching YouTube on their iPads and shit anyway. They're probably not watching his dad play inside the stadium.
Yeah, the kids are definitely okay with playing on Cashman Field. Though.
Fuck McCarron's kids is what I'm trying to say.
The over-under's at 37. I'm on the under. I'm on the under.
The under this game, yeah.
I think DC. I'm going to call this one. It's my first prediction here. Like flat out score prediction. Ready for this one? This is solid. 19-6. DC wins. 19-6.
Grind it out.
Let's go. By the way, I should add in DC's got rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday it's supposed to clear up. Oh, this is Sunday. So 58. 58. Yeah. 58 degrees on Sunday. And it's an early, so you're probably going to get it at 58 degrees. So what are you doing here, CJ?
Well, I like it. I hate to go against St. Louis because they are the luck box squad. And I don't, especially them getting points, I hate because somehow you know they're going to get in their cover. But it's going to be a tight game. I love your underplay there. But you can run on St. Louis. And that's what DC does. They run.
I think we're going to see more De'Aaron King.
I think you're going to see a lot of De'Aaron King. I think you're going to see a lot of Abram Smith, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think it was Raquel Armstead. I thought he was injured or questionable next to him. Some of my DFS lineups. Maybe you can update.
He was playing solid for them.
I love Raquel. Temple, right?
Yeah, Temple.
And so I think there's going to be a lot of running. And Marvin Ellison ran all over him last week.
The home environment's going to be rocking.
Yeah, in the home environment, we all know
that's worth 2 points alone.
We all know what happens in Audi Field at the buzzer point. Even if they're trying to squeeze the juice out of the lemons with the early 1 o'clock start, I don't think these animals care down in DC. I mean, there's no way I'm getting off my team now, especially again. This is hopefully what we were expecting last week when we wanted to fade St. Louis, with their luck box situation. And I think they're, especially with the way DC's line is, they're just going to destroy it. And AJ McCarron's kids are going to watch a different channel. Watch a loss and say, Dad, why didn't you be a backup in the NFL so we could go on vacation?
and I do have confirmation from several friends of mine that Lemons will be in the house.
Yes.
Lemons will be in the house. So watch out, because I got a feeling J-Mark.
Bloody Mary snake?
Don't deal us a lemon on this show. We're trying to pick winners. That's why people should listen.
Can we make the beer?
J-Mark, what are you doing here?
Can we make it a Bloody Mary snake Sunday morning?
Yeah, a little Bloody Mary snake. I almost said steak.
We know where J-Mark's going.
Yeah.
No,
but go ahead.
I'm going to surprise you guys. because I know I picked these guys. I picked the Battlehawks as my top team in my power rankings. DC was below them, but I agree with you that running game of DC's that put up 229 yards last week. St. Louis has allowed 118 a game, 133 to San Antonio, then 103 to the Sea Dragons, they don't run the ball well at all.
No.
Anyways, so I agree with you. I'm taking the defenders here. I think I like the under too. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, but yeah, I think, I hate to just follow you guys, but all three of us on defenders. I'm going to go against my Battlehawks before they return home. Keep in mind, this is their third road game.
That's another thing too. It's their third straight road game, even though everyone does go on the road in general. It's still got to hurt.
No, this is the real environment, though. This is the one where I actually
this is an actual road game, for sure.
Yeah.
Although I have to say I was impressed with them pulling out that win Thursday versus Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, they got lucky.
That did impress me.
I was impressed with that.
Not impressed with that miracle shit week 1, but that last week was.
I think defenders win this one.
Yeah. I think you're. It's interesting. I thought you were going to go the other way there.
I knew you guys thought I would.
Football teams nearby. No, they don't. The Redskins are gone, and there's no other teams nearby. I want to tell you, we're brought to you by Talk. No, we're not. We're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Talk. All right, it's time for Underdog Fantasy Talk.
The dating app gave up on us.
No, they're not XFL.
All right.
Underdog Fantasy is your home for off-season NFL best ball drafts, but they also have you covered for a ton of other daily games, including, PGA, NHL, NBA. Underdog Fantasy is a great way to get down on your favorite player props, because sometimes they're not available in the states that you live in. So head over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. All right, we are back. Sunday's gonna be lit with games. The Guardians, the LaGuardians. Terrell Buckley, he didn't change his team.
I love it.
He changed his mind. All right, and that's what great coaches do. Because they're catching 8.5 points is ridiculous against the Arlington Renegades. Remember, no one showed up to this first Arlington game. I don't expect a lot at this one either. The over-under's at 37. Let me do a quick weather check on Arlington, Texas. I am all over, guys. I am all over the Guardians here. And by the way, they're calling, wow, this is going to be a hot 76 degrees. 76 degrees there in Arlington, and sunny, bright and sunny, just like the future of the Guardians, because not only am I taking the 8.5 points, I'm taking the money line at plus 340. Plus 340. And I will play the under because I think both offenses suck ass. But give me the Guardians. CJ, tell me why I'm a genius.
Well, you're a genius for backing Terrell Buckley. Man, he's the epitome of a fantastic player who obviously can't coach because his coaching style is, why aren't you just good like me? Remember when I played, I was great. Yeah. Why don't you just do that? Well, I don't know. How do we do that? I don't know. God gives you talent and you use it. That's what Terrell Buckley basically does.
Like, I learned a lot of things from Coach Bowden, like maybe have the most talent on the field.
Like be a blue chip All-American. But getting 8.5, there's a couple. I'm torn between this because obviously this is the ultimate buy low on Orlando.
Oh yeah,
and first of all, Arlington's not that good either. Arlington might be
Orlando's got a much better offense than Arlington, unless Slaughter comes in. If Slaughter comes in, Willis Reed style,
I know
my bet's cooked. But
I feel Slaughter has to come in. But like Orlando, but I said it last week, and I was a week too early of saying Orlando's not that bad. The week 1 they had even average yards. Last week, okay, hard to defend.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad. The punt block.
Yeah, having 10 guys on the field,
right?
Like
10 guys on the field, 7 sides. Players telling each other to shut the fuck up in the huddle.
I actually took that as a positive.
But I
like to hear that from my quarterback.
Yes. Yeah. Although 8.5 is not as big as a number as you think in the XFL. That's also a 1-score game. It could be. That could be 9-0. You know what I mean? If they get a touchdown and 3-point conversion.
You got to sprinkle the money line here because what has Arlington's offense showed you?
Right.
Nothing. They've been awful all year.
Arlington has shown nothing. Their home field showed absolutely nothing. So that means nothing. Although this is going against my theory of Orlando outside of the state of Florida, where ankle bracelets are on and things not done. They don't get a full squad, but who knows? Maybe Buckley just picks up some guys in Texas while he's out there. I actually kind of like the over in this game, 36.5, because it's a real deal, and I think Slaughter has to get in. There's no way Stoops is going to allow this.
Well, I thought he was going to get in last game.
I know.
I mean, how many drives? The first pass of the game put through a pick. So I'm thinking, they might shuffle it. No.
But they're more loose. Orlando lets up a ton of points.
And there's no home edge here, though?
No home edge. Yeah. That's what I think. I think it's just going to be loose and goose, kind of like even at the first game where it was pick sixes and there's going to be a lot of turnovers. Yeah. You know, they had touchdowns called back last week to Orlando, punts blocked. I mean, I don't know. But they're gonna definitely if they weren't embarrassed after that, if the Terrell Buckley called them all fucking terrible. I don't know. I think it's the ultimate buy low, sell high.
J-Mark, what are you doing there in Arlington, Texas, my friend?
Pop quiz: which offense has the fewest first downs?
Arlington, I'll say.
Yeah, I would guess Arlington.
Arlington has the fewest first downs in the XFL. Still, it's hard for me to fade Stoops against this Orlando team that has just looked bad. They just look like a shit show. I know it feels like a bounce back spot, but I think Buckley's comments just probably drive them down farther. He hasn't made any changes. He hasn't said, hey, we're not going with Paxton Lynch anymore. Nothing. And I do think we absolutely see Kyle Sloter. I think he comes in. I don't know if he gets the start, but I think he comes in the second or third series. So I'm going to go with the Renegades here until the Guardians show me they can do something positive. I'm going with the Renegades here. I'm going to keep fading the Guardians until they can prove me different. I know 8.5 is a lot of points, but I will say I'm very on the fence. This is a game I'm not betting at all. I'm staying away from it.
Oh, you got to bet the money line. You got to bet. There's value. There's value for our clients out there. Take the money line.
What's your take on the total there, J Mark, if you had to take side there?
I'm taking the over. I think both defenses are not very good. I think the Renegades looked good, but I don't think they really are. I think you can move the ball on them. Orlando's going to throw everything, right? They have to do something to move that ball after that pathetic showing last week. And I think the Renegades, like I said, I think Sloter's coming in. I think you're going to see a lot of Sloter to Canella. I think Lujuan Winningham's going to get involved. I think this offense is going to start clicking. So I'm going to go with the Renegades here and the over.
Rob Donaldson says Arlington needs to start throwing the ball to Sean Bayer.
Iowa guy.
Yeah. And CJ Graham in the chat saying, this is my first time checking out the show. Loving it, CJ. You're hilarious, he says. You got a fan out of this.
Right. Yes, sir.
Colby is goated and a big J-Mark fan. Hey, well, we're a big fan of you,
man.
Chad Graham.
Appreciate it, Chad. Won't even call out that you spelled your wrong.
Fucking grammar expert over here, Sullivan.
Grammar expert. Yeah, that's what the X in the XFL stands for. But thank you, Chad. Seriously.
Yeah, final game on the slate here. Oh man, we got the Brahmas. They're catching 4 against the Houston Roughnecks. Battle-tested Roughnecks. Texas tough. The over/under is 36.5. The weather is first off, I guess the Roughnecks are minus 190. The Brahmas are plus 160. The weather calling for 70, a high of 79. A little cloudy, but and there's a possibility because I see Sunday night and the Monday rain, so maybe that moves in a little earlier. Possible rain. Sign me up for a little rainstorm, a little Texas rainstorm. Either way, tell you this, man. I told you this on the last episode. I'm not buying in all the way on the Roughnecks. All right. I think the whole world wants to crown them. You want to crown them, to quote Dennis Green. All right. I'm on the Brahmas plus 4. I'm on the Brahmas on the fucking money line, and I like my parlay of the Guardians and the Brahmas on the money line.
That's a Sunday
you want
treat.
Juice? There's juice for you. Over under, I'm going to take the over here. I'm thinking these offenses are getting better. I'm only on 1 under this week. So, oh wait, no, I took the under in DC too. Okay, 2-2. There we go. I'm a totals guy now. I was 3.
You're alternative football totals guy.
That's what I'm known for in the streets. What are you doing here? You like my angle here?
I love it. I like fading Houston, but their D line is legit. They have 12 sacks so far, Houston, of the 2 games, which is pretty amazing. And but
they played the 2 worst teams.
They did, and now they get Jack Cohn, who's a little pumped up from playing Orlando last week.
Check down Cohn,
killing
this league.
But I think they have what it takes to get this pass rush. They have, of course, they've had Callum Ballage and my man Jack Patrick. I think if they run the ball, I think that's a way to beat this Houston defense. It's just a study.
How about the Brahmas special teams blocking punts?
I mean, again, that was the Orlando
they only had
circus 10 show out there.
Easy to block a punt when they only have 10 on the field.
But I do like your under here because I also think San Antonio's got a terrible rush defense. And so Houston, even though Brandon Silvers does look like the best quarterback right now, I think Borgie and Nick Holly will also have
comes crashing down.
Yeah, it does come crashing down.
All right, it comes crashing down here. J-Mark, I have a feeling J-Mark's going to – you over or under? What do you think?
I'm liking the under. Yeah. I'm liking nothing but running. Hopefully, this is the game Patrick goes off on. Earl Campbell 2.0. CTE be damned. Leading with the head. Forehead right into the –
CTE is a myth, buddy. It's a myth. J-Mark, tell me why you – I got a feeling he's taking the Roughnecks, don't you? I think he's going shtick. He's going what are you doing here, J-Mark?
You guys are reading me all wrong this week.
We
First
are.
of all, Rob Donaldson says the total's king. Colby, you're the totals
he is
king.
the totals
That's what I
king.
do.
Absolutely.
That's what I do, man.
Um,
That's why they employ me. At
Tulsa,
the
there's the Tulsa King.
Yeah.
Sly's the Tulsa King. Colby's the Totals King.
No, I agree with you. The Roughnecks have played the two worst teams, right, on offense, and they've allowed more yards passing per game than the Brahmas have. The Roughnecks have gotten to the quarterback more often, but the Brahmas have been right up there. They've also sacked the quarterback. They've done a good job allowing more rushing yards per game than the Roughnecks. So, there is that
points, right? It's just too many points.
Yeah.
It is too many points. I think this is either way it goes. I think it's a 2 to 3 point game. Remember, these games can be weird with the 1, 2, 3 point thing. That's another thing that I forgot to mention. The Guardians, Terrell Buckley going for 2 when 3 would have put him within 15 put him within 12. Sorry. So he could have had 9 and 3.
Yeah.
Anyways, just terrible coaching.
No, absolutely.
But
look, they might not have they have a guy that can't count how many players are on the field, obviously, with that a reoccurring problem, and then they have a guy that's like, okay.
Now Houston hasn't lost. Houston has not lost though, right? Since the
correct.
Yeah.
Since a bat got out of a cage or something.
They've never lost in the XFL.
That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Went
over my head for a second.
There's a bit old-fashioned pandemic bit right there.
I am on the over this, though.
You're on what? I'm sorry, J Mark.
I am on the over on this one.
All right.
I like the over.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they're definitely efficient. Like they comparable. You know what I mean? Houston just passes the eyeball test of like they look like a comparable team. You know what I mean? That can actually competent, I should say.
Let me ask you this, guys, because we just rattled off all of ours, all of our picks. What's the game you're most excited to watch this weekend?
Okay, let's look around.
I'm a little biased because I'm all in on this Defender fan base and the Lemon Party that's about to happen at Aldi Field. Yeah. So I want to watch that St. Louis Defenders game, but I'm curious, what's your top game? What's the game that you say, I got to circle this game, I got to watch this game? I'm not gonna meet up with the friends for breakfast or brunch.
Well, I mean, that's the full slate. When you're talking about not wanting to meet up with people. I got conference tours in the morning. I gotta watch the walkthroughs I have on satellite. Don't you bother me. To be honest with you, I like the battle of the 0-2 Saturday night, Seattle Vegas. I want to see what the hell happens on that field and what they do to spray paint that thing over with. We love our man Danucci, and June Jones, of course. And I want to see what Hundley does. I think it's going to be one of those sneaky, explosive kind of games. When we have in the over, and I'm just going to be sit back and watching those back and forth there between that game.
There we go, J Mark. What is the game you want to see?
Well, I agreed with you guys too much on picks here, so I'm going to pick a different game from what you guys said. Those both look good. I mean, I want to see this Brahmas Roughnecks game, though.
Yeah,
I want to see this Texas showdown. I think these are two of the better teams in the league, the Roughnecks especially. The Brahmas might be getting there. I know Jack Cohn has done a lot of checkdowns, but he had some nice back shoulder throws, especially to his tight ends in that last week. So I'm curious to see if he can build on that and they can upset the Roughnecks here.
Is he the best quarterback in the league?
Who?
Jack Cohn.
Absolutely not.
I mean, but I'm saying like from a completion.
Passing completion. Certainly.
Absolutely not. I mean, yes. I completely switched around. I like Rob Donaldson. This podcast has been heavily lemon themed. Well, as DC says, when life gives you lemons, you throw them at players. Insecurity and try to knock
referees.
You try to knock a minimum wage worker out unconscious for taking your beer steak away.
SGPN's own Moneyline Mac's friend started the lemon throwing.
Really?
Little known fact. He's the one that initiated it per Moneyline Mac. Yeah.
That's something.
Can't give out his name.
Yeah, that's something you brag publicly about. The beer steak you can brag about. But hey, I'm the one who started the whole assault thing.
Next thing you know, they'll have the guy saying he was part of storming the Capitol.
That started that crime scene. Remember that?
Folks, we want you to subscribe to the XFL Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Also on Twitter. We're at XFL Gambling Pod. All right. That's Gambling Pod. And also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes. Please, if you can, go over there and give us a 5-star review. If you give us a 5-star review, how about this? The best review the funniest review that we deem funniest and the best, we're gonna send out a T-shirt to.
Whoa! Right? From the merch store, our hot new XFL gambling merch.
Hot ones, like I said,
not the USFL one with J Mark's wearing a fucking traitor.
You know what?
I'm just kidding. I love the USFL.
The sweatshirts shipped earlier than the T-shirts. I have an XFL Gambling Podcast T-shirt on the way.
Come from China, the sweatshirts come from Cambodia,
and COVID came from. I thought it was a riddle we were doing. So even the USFL's merch stats are ahead of XFL. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the COVID came the fastest.
And yeah, it's at XFL Gambling Pod because apparently Twitter can't handle podcasts. That's too many letters.
All right.
Eli, man.
So are we doing DFS or no? Is it too late?
Oh yeah,
we don't have.
I noticed you were wrapping up. Thank you, CJ.
Yeah.
I won money this past week too.
That's what I mean. I just wanted you to brag about winning money.
I'm sorry. I can't believe
top half. Right?
See this? I'm doing too many podcasts.
How long's our show been? We can stretch it.
We can do it. Let's do it.
Just quick.
I hit for a solid $20.
Wow.
All right.
That's nice.
Talk to me. Hope you tailed me on my XFL lineup here. J Mark, why don't you lead the way with what are you doing at quarterback?
It's hard to start anybody besides DiNucci right now, isn't it? I mean,
nice.
They throw the ball the most. I know he's got the fumble issues, but just because of that offense, I think that's where you got to go. So yeah, first quarterback DiNucci.
Same guy as me.
Wow.
So that's pretty easy. He still gets points, even though I know they're 0-2. He gets points every week. So you got to roster him. He's the only guy that Also, June Jones kind of doesn't believe in the 2 quarterback system. And
right.
It's the one thing I know about June Jones. I think you got to load up DiNucci. Who'd you go with that quarterback?
Love DiNucci. I went with Brandon Silvers, though. 9,500, a little slightly cheaper. I think he's the best. But he is the best quarterback, I think, in the league right now.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely passes, like I said, he passes the eyeball test. He's the one who just looks competent.
But is that because he went against the 2 worst teams?
I mean, when they were down and they needed to, but yes, it was bad teams. But like I had confidence that he could pick up a 3rd and 10, like downfield, whatever. And he's got a lot of weapons with Burnett, the B boys, Burnett, Bird, and Borgie.
Yeah,
I mean, in San Antonio, of course, they were playing who was usually bad against the run. Maybe they'll focus up on that and let that guy.
Is there any value in taking De'Aaron King? I guess
I was flipping between him and
we
King,
need to know that he's going to be in the game more, right?
Right.
I think that's the thing there.
I think he's going to be in enough to be your 4th or 5th at the lowest. Ceiling is higher, but at floor, I think he's your 4th or 5th rated quarterback.
He's got a high
behind DiNucci, behind Silvers, he's behind DiNucci, behind Silvers, behind AJ McCarron. Who else are you putting above? Jack Cohn, and then there's De'Aaron King.
Yeah,
I think that's how I would rank them.
Yeah. Yeah, but he could be a fantasy. One of these weeks, he's going to get most of the reps, and he could just destroy it because of how many touchdowns he can get in the goal line. I feel like they run him a lot. You mix that in with throwing. It reminds me of DeAndre Johnson when you would roster him in the USFL.
Imagine if they let him throw a football overhand in a game. The numbers he could put up.
Running back, I went with Abram Smith. No, we talked about the Battlehawk defense, the rush defense looking like ass the first 2 weeks. And obviously, DC's got the home edge. We talked about De'Aaron King. It doesn't even worry me that they have been so bad at throwing the ball because they kind of do the option read. So in a way, that's able to kind of make the defense ponder every single play. Who's going to get the ball? We know that Armstead is questionable. So I'm on Abram Smith. Despite him not having the biggest game last week, but what are you doing at running back, J Mark?
First of all, the people have to know, do you guys like Wendy's chili?
Absolutely.
We got to answer the people. They got to know.
100% Wendy's chili. Wendy's chili actually pops up on the old Weight Watchers app. A nice little 3-point. If you're on the blue plan people out there, give me a shout out in the comments. You got a Wendy's chili for 3 points.
If I go to Wendy's, normally I stick to. Well, first off, I probably even a fucking Wendy's in LA
on a hot day. There's one on the Sunset.
Oh, there is.
Right by me, right by the Rock and Roll route.
Spent $100 there once. Me and some buddies were pretty hammered on the way home from partying, and that was a solid decade ago.
Yeah.
But we ever spent $100 at a Wendy's?
I spent $100 on Sunset, that's for sure, but it wasn't at a Wendy's.
But they get the square burger. They don't cut corners.
They do not cut corners.
So why would I go with the chili when I know they don't cut corners?
It's a fun side, that's for sure. If you want to mix it up, you know what I mean. Like that whole, I'd just like to see what they do with a dollop of sour cream.
Little J-Mark backstory here. I live in Winterset, Iowa. There is one fast food place that's Hardee's. Never go there. So I've never had Wendy's chili. So I guess I'll have to try it out.
You only have one fast food.
You only have
place in your
Hardee's,
town.
and you refuse to go there.
Yeah, we got one. It's a town of less than 5,000 people.
That's wild, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
So on a Friday night, does everyone meet at the Hardee's? Talk about their XFL DFS lineups.
There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people at the covered bridges, though. I mean, that's where they all go.
The covered bridges.
That was a Simon and Garfunkel song.
What are you doing at running back, dude?
Yeah, for my running back, I'm going to go with Max Borgia. I still think he's one of the better running backs in the league. I know he did salvage his day with a touchdown last week. Didn't have a great week, but I think they're going to feed him a lot in this game. So yeah, I'm on Max Borgia here.
He was part of my winning roster last week, but I didn't find room for him yet. I might make an adjustment. CJ, what are you doing with your running back?
I followed you there with Abram Smith. He's the number 1 overall pick in this league. He had a decent game last week. He was 11 for 71 and a touchdown, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And like we said, you can run on St. Louis. I do like Raquel Armstead if he was a little banged up as a cheaper discount. I think he's like 4,000 or 4,200 or something like that if you want to. But Abram Smith, 8,200. He just looks like a featured back, too, out there. Like, he looks like they're a team. And like we said, DC is just going to run all over St. Louis. So,
yeah. No, I like it. Well, my top wide receiver, you don't change horses midstream. And this guy I'm going to roster every year. Or every week of the year, I should say. And that's Ja'Cour Pearson because he's the slot. Love the slot. And look, I mean, dude,
June loves slots.
He's got 14 targets. Is there a receiver that has more targets in the league? Absolutely. I don't think there is.
Absolutely not.
And I've been doing this for a long time on the taking whether it was I played college NCAA football, fantasy football for a long time. Devon Best when he was at Hawaii. You can go back to Ashley Lilly.
Ashley Lilly. Yes, sir.
You get Action Camp Phillips in the XFL 2.0. Just get Eric Metcalf, Terrence Mathis. You go on and on and on. Ernest Givens, I said before.
Ernest Givens.
The slot just gets all the looks in this offense. So give me Ja'Cour Pearson, even though I know he's 9K. I'm paying up. What are you doing here, CJ?
I did the same thing. Yeah, he was 7,300.
Yeah.
And now he's 9K. And it's still a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's still a deal. He is easily the breakout star of the XFL. So I tailed you with that, the Ole Miss receiver. 12 for 95 and 1 on that first week. He only had 4 for 78 for 1 last week, which seems like, obviously it's a come down from his first week. He still had 8 targets, like you said. Like, it's insane. So June loves slots. That's all you have to say. Put that on the merch. Get that on the T-shirts. Rip off the sleeves. Sell out the fucking by the case. And let's ship it.
What'd you do here, J-Mark?
Now, I will preface this with I do have lineups with Pearson in it, but he's got to start getting more attention at some point, right? Because he's leading the league in targets, catches, yards,
but you realize why and touchdowns. Like the run and shoot, it attacks vertically, and then it's always there. It's the security blanket. If anything, if the Sea Dragons were probably playing better, they would probably be stretching the field better.
I get it, but I kind of countered a little bit. I still went with a Sea Dragon, went with Blake Jackson, 23% of the target share. He's still getting targeted a lot, and he's a guy that can break it open with big gains. So I went with Blake Jackson here instead of Pearson, just kind of a little pivot.
Yep, nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, all right, next I went back. I went to a running back position here. I went with John Lovett from Baylor. Here's my thing.
Okay.
I don't know how good Seattle's run defense is.
Okay.
I don't know how good they are. And I think if Hundley's in the game, more option read stuff, which means more possibilities that John Lovett can score. And just, I feel like the offense just opens up. One thing about Luis Perez, we've said a good quarterback, but lawn chair. True lawn chair. Hundley's not a lawn chair. No. And that means I think the offense becomes a little harder to stop when you have 2 guys capable of running the rock. So John Lovett is my play.
You had a little weird in your voice. It almost sounded like you don't love it. But you should.
I love it.
Good. There you go. That's what I like to hear. I love it. I love that pick.
What are you doing here?
I like anyone in that game. I like Vegas. Yeah, I like anyone in that game. I went with. I did a little pivot for my my stacking of Brandon Silvers. I went with Jontre Kirkland, or the second wide receiver out there. For
I'm sorry. I jumped. I didn't do my second wide receiver. My apologies.
It's all right.
I did my yeah. But anyway,
I was going to call you out on it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Love it. Love it is my guy. I skipped over.
So
my
love
second.
it's a flex, and
Yeah.
you didn't go to your second wideout.
I'll give out my second wideout.
All right, let's just start the show from the beginning then. Let's get this right. Let's get this right.
So wait, who'd you go with?
We got Ryan Kramer coming in here telling us about our 90-minute XFL. We're giving the fans what they want, Kramer.
Yeah.
Kramer dog.
He's threatened as an NFL guy.
Right.
He's threatened.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean,
right.
Listen, we don't know when this league's going to go under. We got to get all of our content in.
And we're all trying to guess what team Daniel Jones ends up on.
Right.
Is it going to be the Defenders? Is it going to be the Vipers?
I went with Kirkland from Houston, wide receiver. He's got a lot of speed, big playmaking ability, stack with Silvers. Like I said, Santano, terrible pass defense. So I don't know. What do you think about that, J-Mark?
J-Mark?
Yeah, no, my second wide receiver is Kirkland, 27% of the target share, averaging 63.5 yards per game, 7 catches a game. He's been very good DFS wise. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
All right.
Ooh. Well, I went to Ricky Proehl is the wide receiver coach for the Battlehawks, and Austin Proehl. First off, one of the Proehls went to East Carolina, so that means all of them went to East Carolina. Give me Austin Proehl as my second wide receiver. Look, I know he only has 4 targets, but guess what? He's got 4 catches.
Yep.
You throw it anywhere near him, he's going to catch the fucking rock. Let's go.
And if they don't throw him the ball, he's telling his dad.
Yeah, that's
who
simple.
is the coach.
That's simple. Who are you going with in your next or your flex then?
Next flex, I'm going with Hakeem Butler from J-Mark St. Louis Battlehawks, ex-NFL player. He had nice 7 targets last week, 4 for 61 and a touchdown. He's AJ's. I think he's becoming AJ's go-to guy. And it's going to be a battle, obviously, with this DCs, but I think he's going to rack up the numbers. And I just trust him, and I trust AJ. The kids are watching. Everyone's, focused in on it. I like what he says. 6,100 is a pretty good deal there for Hakeem Butler.
Yeah. How about you, J-Mark?
And he's a 6'5" target. By the way, Kramer, saving some people from some spreadsheet hell, so back off. My first flex is Brian Hill. DC's allowing 71 rushes a game and a rushing touchdown a game. He missed last week with a bad hammy. He's supposed to be back fully healthy. Make sure you check that. If he's not healthy, I did pivot to Morgan Ellison. But yeah, I got Brian Hill in my first flex spot.
Brian Hill treated me decent week 1 XFL DFS, but I don't want to take anyone taking on Greg Williams because that defense is fire, and that's my guy, my favorite coach in the league.
Yes.
All right, well, look, I went with my second flex. Got another case of Sal Cannella. All right. Now, Slaughter needs to get on the field.
Make sure you cook those chicken to
Get Slaughter on the field.
Yes.
All right, because the connection's there.
Mhm.
All right, I'm talking Phil Simms Bavaro. I'm talking Elway Shannon Sharp, Bledsoe Coates, Brady Gronk. Get Slaughter in the game so we can see the Slaughter Cannella connect.
Raw
doing
meat
here?
getting your Sal Cannella. I love it.
What are you doing here on your final flex?
I went with J-Mark's pivot, as he already mentioned. Morgan Ellison for Seattle, 4,600, pretty cheap. They had to run for Southeast Louisiana, man.
The Lions.
The Vipers got ripped up last week by Smith on the run and gun. So I think Seattle, although June Jones, of course, also the ball, they did go to the run a little bit more. And I think he's a little more versatile than Knox. If I did have a running back from Seattle, I'd like
I
Morgan
rostered
Ellison
Knox
like
one of those weeks, and he had he did nothing.
Right.
So
I think he had 74 yards last week, won 14 touches.
yeah.
So I think and through the running and passing game for 4,600, I like Morgan Ellison a lot.
I like it. J-Mark, final flex. What are you doing here?
Ellison runs hard too. I like that pick. I went to the other tight end that you can depend on besides Sal Cannella, and that's Cody Latimer. 5 catches a game. He's the only tight end with a touchdown a game. One of 2 pass catchers next to Ja'Cory Pearson that has a touchdown a game, and 23% of the target share. So, and he's only 4,100 right now. So they have not adjusted the price there.
Shop to a drop there. Defense, come on. I gave away my hand. It's fucking Greg Williams. All right. I'm all over the Defenders. I think they're going to shut Anthony Beck down. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was a shutout.
Tony Meatball.
Right? Wouldn't be surprised if it was a shutout.
Wow.
That's how good I feel about the lemon party that's going to happen at Aldi Field. Give me the Defenders at 4,400. What are you doing here defensively?
I think it's an auto play of the Renegades versus Orlando. 4,800. Arlington. Arlington's got a good defense anyway.
Yeah.
With Stoops and all the guys.
Yeah.
And in Orlando, like I said, they're just a quarterback.
You don't believe in the evolution of the shut the fuck up play call.
I love it. Listen, I'm
All
rooting
right.
for Orlando. I want them to cover, but they're and tell you what, Arlington, they get turnovers. Even last week versus Houston, they didn't pick them off, but they created like 3 fumbles.
Yeah.
And they're creating turnovers. It was in that week 1, of course, they had 2 pick sixes. And I mean, and Orlando's just a clown show when it comes to the offense. So it should be a fantasy bonanza.
Let's
with that
go.
defense.
J-Mark. Yeah, Greg Williams was made for the XFL.
Absolutely.
Should be a
Because
fucking head coach
Because
soon.
bounties mean something in the
Yeah,
XFL.
Thank God.
They need a little bonus, and
Yeah.
you don't have to put a bonus. Hell,
Thank God football's back.
Right.
Like, he put a bounty on the players.
Good.
Oh, it's only been happening for 150 years.
You call 'em-
jackasses.
Yeah, you call them bounties, we call them bonuses.
Yeah. J-Mark, what are you doing on your what's your bounty defensive style that you're going with there? What is that? Who are you throwing the cash on?
Yeah, first time that I've been strapped for cash on the Defenders or on defense, so I had to kind of cut some. But I'm with CJ here. Renegades, this is just a fate of Orlando. They've been terrible. So I think the Renegades are going to get sacks. I think they're going to get turnovers. So, yeah, I threw the Renegades in.
See, I believe in the evolution of the shut the fuck up offense.
So does Fred Durst.
Yeah,
There
there we
suck
go.
Orlando
Let's go.
money line.
Let's go, Durst.
Yeah.
Represent Florida.
You're gonna be doing it all for the bookie if you lose that one. I'll tell you that much.
Love it, folks. Subscribe to the XFL Gambling Podcast at XFL Gambling Pod on Twitter. Give us a follow as well. Follow, and you better subscribe to all of our stuff. All right, all of our stuff. We're talking the USFL Gambling Podcast. We're talking the CFL Gambling Podcast. We're talking about the NFL Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast, and our own podcast, which are, well, Bottom Line Bombs. All right, he's the man in the box.
Bottom line
CJ
bombs. Wesley
Sullivan.
Johnson, the new fan. Sign up for that. If
There
you want to
you
hear more of that.
There you go. Also, old-fashioned football. I
Whiskey
guess.
lunch.
Whiskey
New
lunch.
episode dropping tonight with, where is it? Calumet Farms right here, trying to point on it. Maybe
Yes.
backwards.
I think they're going to do a deeper dive on the Hardys. That's
I know. We're the Hardys, the covered
Yeah.
bridges.
Yeah.
I
So
need
check
to hear it all.
out that. Give him a follow on Twitter at JMarkFootball. By the way, CJ Sullivan at CJ Sullivan _. All right. People are saying I look like Fred Durst. I don't know how to respond.
You got
to
Matt
that.
Rule. You got
Yeah,
you got Fred
yeah.
Durst.
Casey Affleck.
Anyone
It's your
who
burner
wants to
account.
back the chat. Right.
There you go. There you go. I've always thought I look a lot like George Clooney. No?
I do like people who say that, like, who complain about looking like good-looking people.
I
Like,
got-
I get Hugh Jackman all the time. Yeah, you also get laid, asshole. Shut up.
My dad gets Kevin Costner all the time, so I'm hopeful. that one day
Yeah,
I'll get
nice,
Kevin Costner.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
usually don't
Cosner.
usually don't come into your looks until your
Yeah.
60s. They say. So maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully your dad doesn't try to sleep with Cal Ripken's wife, because Cal Ripken beat the shit out of Kevin Costner, one of the greatest stories in the history of the planet. All right. Yeah, you need to dive deeper on that one if you don't know about that
Sure.
one. Folks, also check out the college football experience, the college basketball experience, and the college baseball experience. They're all out there for you. Go listen to them all and check out the Sports Gambling Podcast, because they talk about all these ones, including the XFL. Check it out. All right. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And happy week 3. Let's go. This is the XFL Gambling Podcast. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even blocked all my game chat. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
What is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terror pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
I think tide turning, as I remember, I was raised in the desert, the tides kind of, it's easy to see a tide turn. Did I say those words?
Good round, you're celebrating with your appetite. Bad round, you're using your appetite to forget about the round. I'll tell you something about appetite. It's a real fucking great thing to have.